Young Thomas Edison. It's starting to rain. Born Huron, Michigan, 1854. Sir, I wonder where rain comes from and how clouds form and humph. Worthless, Bing. Your brain is clearly athlete. Mr. Edison, just look at the size of your forehead. You'll never amount to anything. Later that day at the Edison house. My schoolmaster doesn't like my questions, Mother. He says my brain is addled. Addled? There's nothing wrong with you at all. Just look at the size of that forehead. You've clearly got superior intelligence stored up in that head of yours. That's not what he says. Well, you won't be going back to that so-called school anymore. I'll teach you myself. I'm sure I know enough about teaching, writing, and arithmetic to get you started. Years pass. Did you know Augustus became the first Roman Empire? Why don't we have an empire? We have a different kind of government. Our leader is called a president. These, my son, are the great classics of literature. I'll pay you 10 cents for every one you finish. You've got a deal. And this is the public library. Here you can find books about anything that captures your curiosity. I'll read them all. I'll try this one. I think you'll like it. School of Natural Philosophy. What is it? It's a book about science. It has instructions for experiments. Can I try some? You can set up a lab in a cellar. It might be messy. Al's lab, 1857. This is the best thing I've learned yet. I can just afford it. You must have quite the laboratory with all materials you've been keeping. I wish I had even more. There's so much to learn. I'm going to need some more supplies for my chemistry laboratory. Would it be all right with you if I got a job? What about your education? Don't worry about that, Mom. I'll still learn plenty. May I interest you in a snack? How about the morning news? Grand Trunk Railroad 1 year later. 2 years later, so much news comes throughout the station office every day. I bet I can do something with this. I think I can make better use of my free time. When we're stopped in the Detroit, sir. Oh, what did you have in mind? Your baggage car is empty. Could I use it? Can I set up some supplies for printing and chemistry experiments? Where are you going to get all that? I can buy a printing press from a bookseller in Detroit. And I already have a chemistry lab. Well, go ahead. Just don't cause any explosions. Finally, my very own printing press. Now I can spread the news myself. Over here, I'll take 2. I'm making nearly $10 a day with a surprise enterprise. This is great for my chemistry lab. The following summer. Clang, clunk. Whoa, what was that? Oh no! Crash. Fire. What have you done? The phosphorus fell when the train lurched. The bottle broke, and it became exploded to the air. That's what set off the fire. We're lucky it wasn't enough to contain. Well, you can bet your work well, You can bet you won't be making money in my train anymore. Get your daily news here. Everything you need to know for just a few pennies. Clang, clang. Hey! Well, what a close one. Good for your parents. My boy. Thank you. You saved my son's life. Will you accept a job as payment? I'd be honored. The man Edison, whose son Edison saved, J.U. Mackenzie, was the station master at the train station in Mount Clemens, Michigan. After Edison saved his son, Michigan gave Edison a job as a telegraph operator. Edison was still very curious to know how things worked, and he had very interested in science. He began investing improvements to the telegraph machine. In 1876, Edison opened a lab in New Jersey so he could continue experiments and inventing. He invented machines for listening to music and watching movies. He also made electric light bulbs and helped make an electric power plant. Before his death in 1931, Edison invented or improved more than 1,000 things.